In this video, I'm going to be discussing exponents and order of operations. So let's get started. So let's talk about exponents first. So this is read 7 squared, or 7 to the second power. And what the exponent tells us is we need to multiply 2 7s. And so we get 49. So basically, exponents are a shortcut for repeated multiplication. Now it's not such a big deal with this problem, but if you had to multiply 27s, we could write that as 7 to the 20th power. And it's just a short way to represent that number. Another example would be 4 to the 3rd power, or 4 cubed. So here we're going to multiply 3 4s. So 4 times 4 is 16, times another 4, we're going to get 64. So the 3 here is the exponent, and the 4 is what we call the base. When you're working with exponents, it's important that you know what your base is. You'll see that very shortly. So here's some problems I'd like you to do. I would encourage you to stop the video and then check your answers. Be careful with numbers 6 and 7. Alright, so let's see how you did. 5 squared is 5 times 5, which is 25. 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2, and you do get 8, it's not 6. 12 squared is 144. You ought to at least know up to 12 squared, so 1 squared, 2 squared, 3 squared, and so on, all the way up to 12 squared. For example, 11 squared, you should know, is 121. All right, on number 4, we've got to multiply 4 3s. The nice thing about multiplication is we can pair up our 3s, and this is going to end up being 9 times 9, which is 81. On number 5, anything to the first power is itself, so this would be 8. On number 6, one thing about exponents that you need to make sure you understand is the exponent only applies to the number or letter that it is next to unless you have parentheses. So for example, in number 6, or in example number 6, our base is 3, not negative 3. And so we're going to square we're going to square 3, and then we're going to apply the negative to that. And so here we're going to end up with negative 9. 3 times 3 is 9, and then apply the negative. Whereas in number 7, because we have the parentheses, your base is negative 3. Hold on just a second here. Let's see. So our base here is all of this. Everything inside the parentheses. So we're going to multiply 2 negative 3s, and so we get a positive 9 in this case. Let's move on to order of operations. So if I asked you to evaluate 4 plus 12 divided 2 times 3, actually I'm asking you to do that, see what you get. Again, I would encourage you to stop the video and then you can see how you did. Alright, so there's 3 possible answers, perhaps even more, that students get when they do this problem. If you worked left to right, you got 24, probably. If you multiplied first, you got 6. But unfortunately, both of these answers are wrong. 22 is actually the right answer. So let's see how I got that. So it turns out that division and multiplication are equal priority. And so with equal priority, we work with the operation on the left. So we would do the division first, since it's the one on the left. So let's do that. We're going to get 4 plus 6 times 3, and then we'll multiply next. Last thing we do here is the addition, and so we're going to get 22. Alright, so let's talk about order of operations as far as how we organize ourselves. So some of you may have learned PEMDAS, P for parentheses, E for exponents, M for multiplication, D for division, A for addition, and S for subtraction. The problem with this is it kind of looks like multiplications come before divisions. And the same thing with addition and subtraction. And that's actually not true. I would prefer that you write it this way if you're going to use PEMDAS, because multiplication and division are considered equals. Same thing with addition and subtraction. And so with equals, we always work left to right. That's why in the problem up above, we did the division first, even though division and multiplication are equals. We work left to right. The way I prefer to do this is a little bit different. I like to, first parentheses is our highest priority. And what we mean by that is if there's something inside parentheses that can be simplified, we do that first. And so I always say parentheses is king, and so I put a little crown on them. Then we have exponents. Multiplication and division are on the same level, and the same thing with addition and subtraction. And of course with these last two levels, we work left to right. So let's go ahead and do some problems. So on number 1 here, we have addition and multiplication. By the order of operations, we do the multiplication first. So we're going to have 5 plus 12, which is 17. On number 2, this is similar to the one we just did a minute ago. We want to do the division first, since division and multiplication are equal priority. We do the one on the left first, and so we're going to have 8 times 4, which is 32. By the way, at this point, I would encourage you to maybe try each problem and then look at my solution just to see if you understand the process, or you can just watch each example without stopping the video. All right, so on number 3, we have an exponent, and so we're going to apply that exponent to everything inside the parentheses, which would be our base. So in this case, just the 3. So this is going to be 5 times 9, which is 45. Let's look at number 4. Here we have parentheses, so we want to make sure we take care of what's inside the parentheses first. So 7 minus 2 is 5. We're going to get 4 times 5, which is 20. All right, let's move on to number 5. So let's see, if you look at this one, we've got exponents will be our highest priority, and we've got 2 of those, so let's go ahead and take care of those. 8 squared is 64. And then we're going to divide by 4, which is 2 squared. So notice I'm just rewriting everything else. I like to underline what I do in each step. It just kind of helps me to stay or to keep track of things. I highly recommend that you do that step by step. So next we have a division and a multiplication. That would be our next priority. And of course we'll do the division first since it's on the left. So 64 minus 4, then we have times 4 minus 3. We'll do the multiplication next. So we're going to have 64 minus 16 minus 3. We're going to get 48 minus 3, which is 45. Number 6. So first of all, we need to take care of what's in the parentheses. So we're going to get 10 minus 2 times, well, see, 5 minus 3 is 2, so we have 2 cubed now. And we'll do our exponent next. So it's going to be 10 minus 2 times 8. We'll multiply next. And last thing to do is subtract. We're going to get negative 6. All right, let's do one more. Notice this time you have parentheses within parentheses. So let's see. We need to work from the inside out, so we'll do that 3 minus 8 first. And so that's negative 5. Now inside the parentheses or brackets, notice the bracket is just another way to write parentheses. It kind of helps things to stand out a little bit better, particularly at the beginning there. I could have used parentheses instead of brackets in this second step. I just kind of like the bracket. So that's what I did. So let's multiply next inside the parentheses. And then we're going to have to add last. So we're going to end up with 3 times negative 6. And so we're going to get negative 18 here. And that's it for this video.